A lot of companies use assessments when making hiring decisions, but you might be surprised to find out that not all assessments, in fact, many assessments, are not even intended for the use of hiring. So let's talk about how you can determine which assessment is appropriate for that use and which is not. But before we get into that, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you never miss an episode. I'm Emily Melius. I'm a talent management consultant and career coach, and I know what it takes for people to be successful at work. I also have extensive experience in using assessments in hiring, and I want to share with you, again, a warning that a lot of assessments are not even intended for this use, and using them anyways could not only be damaging in terms of not getting you the kind of outcomes you want, but it could expose you to a legal liability, which certainly is not what anyone wants. So let me talk to you about the ins and outs of determining what kinds of assessments are appropriate for use in hiring. Well, first, check to see if it just explicitly says this is intended for use in hiring, or says the opposite. So for example, there are warnings on Myers-Briggs, DISC, and StrengthsFinders, which are popular assessments, but they explicitly say not to use for hiring. So that is a great place to stop right there. There are assessments though that say that's fine, they have programs for that, they're specifically stated to go ahead, move forward, this is an option. But I also want to talk to you about the EEOC guidelines. So I'm talking about the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission here. And they've given us all guidelines that we should follow when we're thinking about, again, using an assessment in hiring, or really at any point in our company. And I want to make sure that first I recommend to you that you take this to the legal team in your company. Of course, you need to heed their advice first and foremost, and they should be the final say on what's most appropriate. This is not legal advice, but I do want to give you a sense for what are the general guidelines we should be looking out for. So the first part is that the EEOC says any assessment we use should be job specific. So what does that mean? Well, if you're hiring someone and looking for something in particular, say you want somebody to be detail oriented, well, you have to prove that the job needs detail orientation. And if that's not something you can prove, you might be in hot water. So a great way to make sure that you're proving that job fit, job match is to have an assessment not only for the candidate, but have a separate assessment for the job role itself. And then you can match those two things up. So I advise that you look for an assessment program that has that built in. The second thing that the EEOC says is that the assessment should not be discriminatory. Now, that may seem pretty obvious, but I will tell you there is a lot of debate, and you can do some research yourself, on whether or not personality assessments are discriminatory. So there are people on each side, but there are certainly some legal cases that give us pause. So make sure that the research and statistics behind the assessment you're using make you feel comfortable about satisfying that guideline of not being discriminatory. I hope that helps you as you're making those really great hiring decisions. Be sure to like and subscribe so we can constantly be helping you with thriving in work, school, and life. And of course, come visit our website, launchconsulting.io.